Hi everyone, it's Alex. I'm just making this video because I wanted to share with you a motherboard that I think is one of the best motherboards for doing GPU pass-through at this price point. I've tested motherboards that are upwards of £500 that don't handle GPU pass-through as well as this motherboard. Originally I purchased the Lenovo M93. This is back 5 years ago. I purchased that and didn't really realise its full potential until I swapped the cases from it, because it comes in quite a small form factor case, and it was then that I actually put 2 GPUs in. But something very interesting about it is it can use both GPUs and the internal graphics, which the internal graphics, it's an essential part for doing double GPU pass-through. Because if you're using VMware, Proxmox does this as well, but just take VMware as the kind of case for this. VMware has to have some sort of graphic output. You can't, you can tweak it, but it needs to run smoothly. It needs a graphic output. Most motherboards will, if you've got a graphics card in there, it will just say no, that's all I have. AMD do this, where it will just turn off. There are some motherboards you can turn it on, but I'm just taking the Intel side. It will turn off the internal graphics completely. So then that will take your GPU. So you've got maybe one crap GPU for the host, and then one to run your GPU pass-through on. But this Lenovo motherboard, you can have your internal graphics to do your just display, just your text and things that are on the screen, and then both GPUs you can single out to have them pass through to VMs. So and also another thing, it's got 4 RAM slots, which again, if you've only got 2 RAM slots, you then have to buy a 16 gig DIMM to get it to 32. If you want to go 64, then you have to buy a 32 gig 1 DIMM, and they become quite expensive. With 4 slots, you can have 8 gig DIMMs to get it to 32, which then it's quite good on the price point. And the cost of this motherboard is 30 quid. So what I'm going to do is quickly switch to my screen capture and kind of just go through this. If you can hear the fans in the background, I've got a server which is installing some bits on it. I'm still halfway through just getting rid of what I don't need, selling that, and then the rest I'll kind of save for the home lab. I've recently put back into production my HP ProLiant DL 380p. So it's been sat on a shelf for ages because I didn't have the drive caddies. And I thought, you know what, I'm wasting it. Why is it just sat there? I bought the drive caddies and I put it back into production. Yesterday I updated all the BIOS and ILO and everything like that on it. That's now gone in the rack. So I've had to take a 4U server out of the rack and put that ProLiant in. So it means that I've got my Dell R620, which is a 1U. The HP ProLiant, which is a 2U, but that has 2 PCIe cards for GPU pass-through. And then on top there's a custom-built unraised server. But I'll go through this at a later date anyway, what's in my server rack. So let me switch to this screen capture. Hopefully I can just click. Yep, there we go. So on eBay right now, you can... These are the few that I'm talking about. This is the Lenovo ThinkCentre M93. It's a 4th gen motherboard that takes DDR3. Now there is also another one which is the M93P, but that takes a different type of DDR3. It's a DDR3L, and this is $22.98. Now I'm actually going to buy another one of these, because I don't want this video to go and there to be none left, because they're so good. And you can stick a Xeon in this. You could stick a 12 core Xeon, 4th gen Xeon in this, with all the DIMMs filled, with 8 gig or say 16 gig. I think the max is 64, but don't quote me on that. It could be 32, but that's still quite a bit of RAM. You know, it's a good chunk. And then you have 2 graphics cards, and these are nicely spaced out. So I've tested this with 2 1050 Ti's, a massive 1070, which is a huge. It goes all the way from here all the way back to here. So and it's fit no problem. And this comes with the I/O shield. So that's one option. The next option is somewhere here. If you want to go a bit newer, that's the M93P, which is again, it does say on here about the RAM type. It does say that it takes the LRAM, so it just takes a different type of RAM, but they're almost identical, the board. I don't know if there is. Oh, something to know, you do have to buy, see this power connector? You do have to buy a ATX to proprietary connector, but they're only about £3. They're not much, and that's it. That's all you need is this special connector. But for the price, I mean, to get this amount of features on a motherboard and something else, see these little 2 black power slots here? They can power your SATA, so you don't even need to power them from the PSU. They can be powered from the motherboard. So mine came with them cables. Now, if you do want to go a bit newer, like a 6th gen, you can go 6th gen, but again, you pay, that's still a good price. £100 is not much for a 6th gen. You know, and these things are rock solid, absolutely rock solid. You will lose some features like USB 3, but if you get the right connectors, this here, this little black thing that my mouse is curling on, that's the USB 3. So there is a way to get a connector. I think you can buy a kit online that to mod these out to go into different cases. That's why they're selling these boards. They do fit. It's a standard size with all the standard screws, so that's great. There are a lot of HP boards where it's not a standard size. It's a standard size like a micro ATX, but then it's got the USB on the front, you know, which would be the back side here. So your case, it doesn't fit properly. So yeah, I'm just making this video about this. I will show you if I can get. I've got a gimbal ordered as well, so that I can get some nice steady shots. And hopefully, when all this kit is cleared out, because there's quite a bit. There's a bit that I don't use. I run a business. We repair a lot of stuff. So I need different items for repair, but a lot of it has just been personal projects that I've then learned the software or learned the like Cisco switches. I've learned all of that, and then I want to, you know, once you've learned it, like a hands-on learning is the best. So you know, I often find like if I bought up there's a Cisco switch. Well, I wanted to learn how to program Cisco switches from the command line. So I think I paid £5 for this switch, and it's done me good. Like, it's sat there now. But then there's other things that I've learnt it, and I don't need to use that anymore. So I need to sell that on. Get 30 quid to buy this because it's such a good motherboard. I'm pretty sure that my Lenovo is connected. So what I might do now is actually just show you what it looks like from the VMware side. So we're back into sec. So this is my ProLiant that I've put back into production. Ignore this. This is a customer's computer that's being repaired. I've just not got anywhere to put it, so it's on the floor here for now. Someone tried to repair it and basically bent the motherboard pins really bad. And then I've got my Dell R620. That's the 4U Unraid server. And then I've got a couple of U space where I might put a shelf and put this, which is installing, which is a super micro. I picked that up really cheap. I think it was 20 quid for the case, and then this is a Dell R210. So I've got this is the old, well, it's not old, but it's the 4U server that was in there, but I didn't get any use out of my ProLiant, so I needed that to go back in, and it is on the rails, which is good. So let me just show you some of the stuff. Okay, so inside here, I know everyone's going to go berserk about these cables, but that's why I'm trying to tidy it all up. Inside here is the Lenovo, and you can tell it's the Lenovo just from the back, and it's running VMware, and you can see the two GPUs back in there, and what I'll do is I'll switch to display out so that you can then see the Lenovo. So I've just started up the server, and that's launched fine, and here I'm running VMware 8, which is the latest release, latest update and everything, and I'll just show you the system. So it's running an Intel Xeon, let me copy that, one sec. Let me just look at the price of this, which is version 3. So you could have for less than £100, that's 30 quid, a 30 quid CPU. So we're up to £60 so far. Let me go back to VMware, and I'm running 30 gig of RAM, 32, yeah, technically it's 32, but usually takes some off anyway. And I go to manage, and here we go. So at the minute in this is just a 750, which is a really, I think these GPUs are just some that I had lying around. It's not the end result, because the ones that I've come out of this 4U server, they're going to go in this, and I'm considering putting this board and them GPUs and matching them together in a server case. I'm just trying to think, well, what should I do? So that's active, and the other one is a Radeon card, which is also active. And the reason these two are active is because the integrated graphics are enabled in the BIOS by default. Even if you plug a GPU in, it will let you change it to integrated, which is fantastic. That's what you want, and so for this price you really can't complain at all. I think I've just got Windows 10, is it here? Let me just power this on. Windows 10. I think this already has the GPU pass-through. Yeah, it does. So, you know, this, you're good to go. And you could do this with VMware, you could do this with Proxmox. I find VMware just easier. Just, you can go to manage and then just click, and then click pass through, and that's it, done. As long as the board supports it, which this does. I think IMOMU is enabled by default, but it's not much tinkering in the BIOS to change anyway, and you're good to go. So if you're struggling with GPU pass-through, if you're struggling with anything like that, this is a great option. I highly recommend it, so much that I might get another one. I might get the 6th gen, but we'll wait and see. So we're in Windows now. We'll just might as well check for some updates while we're here. And as we can see, we've got the GeForce, and we've got the GeForce drivers installed and running. You know, this is incredible for the price. That's why I'm making this video, because experience. I'm just passing experience of different motherboards, and don't, you know, go ballistic spending loads of money when you don't need to. You know, you can, like I said, spend for the CPU and the motherboard 60 quid, and you can be up and running. And then obviously you need to add your GPUs, but if you're watching this channel, more than likely you've got a lot of these parts already hanging around. You know, you don't need to go Xeon. You can go an i5. You can go an i3. I would say that for 30 quid a Xeon is um, definitely worth it. So that's just a quick video to let you know that you can do GPU pass-through for under 60 quid. Double GPU pass-through for under 60 quid. So let me know what you think. Thanks for tuning in. I finished university now, so that's it, completely finished. I'll be graduating in about 3 weeks with a degree in computer science. I'm looking forward to going into a computer science role, but I've got to go back and redo my maths. I went for a job, they knocked me back because I didn't have GCSE maths, which I did my GCSEs back, 20 years ago, so I'm showing my age now. It's a little bit longer than that, actually. It's a little bit longer. But when I went for the job, they said, well, you need, even though I've got a computer science degree, you need maths. It wasn't a mathematical job, but it's this new government policy that they've put in from central government, saying that people going into graduation jobs and apprenticeships and things like that, that they have to have GCSE maths or equivalent. So yeah, that's what I'll be doing next. But I want to thank everyone who sent well wishes, and I'll probably put another video about my graduation and stuff like that. But I'll see you in the next one, and I'll see you all soon. It's been such a long day. I've been with the kids today, so it's been a long day. Alright guys, see you soon, bye bye. So that is GPU pass-through for under 60 quid. I just want to say I have finished university now. I finished completely. All work is handed in. I don't think anything has come back because they've had a chance to kind of scan through it and read it. I'll be graduating in about 3 weeks, and I've got a couple of interviews lined up, but I have to go back to I won't say school, but I have to go back to college again to redo my GCSE maths. I went for a job and I got knocked back because even though they were saying, yeah, it's excellent, you've got your degree, excellent, all your other qualifications and knowledge, you don't have GCSE maths. It was like a punch in the stomach. So I've got to go back and do that. It comes from, what they explained is it comes from a central government policy that millennials, let's say, don't have enough maths and numeracy skills, so they want to make sure that there's a standard set for that. You know, even though you can write lines of code and you can do whatever, it doesn't matter, you've got to have this bloody maths. So I've got to go back for that. Long story, but thanks very much for tuning in to this video. I hope to see you again in the near future, and yeah, leave comments, let me know what you think. Bye bye.